Yeah, so I know it's not true, but you see those little tents over there? You have this nice little campground. So that's what I think life's supposed to be about. And I say that, fully aware that life's not supposed to be a bed of roses all the time. I mean, adversity is what helps us to grow, right? Everyone agree with that? Hard times are what helps us to mature and become good, solid people. So I'm not into that rubber sidewalk thing or participation trophy stuff. I'm into what I just said. But this beautiful campground and what you're seeing here, friendly people here, and that's a cute little camper. I like that. Is what life should be about. You should be working on your career, maybe your small business or your school, and having some dreams and working toward those goals and loving on your significant other and just really living the richest of life. I mean, even God says He wants us to live an abundant life. And so many people get it wrong. They think that God is some kind of a ruling overlord who wants to tell you what to do all the time, and that's not true at all. He wants us to live the abundant life. And He tells us to stay away from certain things. Those are the rules you're thinking of, because those things generally hurt us. As a thief, it doesn't end well. If you're running around being an adulterer, cheating on your wife, or taking other people's wives away from them, that's not going to end well for anybody. It ruins marriages and other things. If you're a chronic liar, bearing false witness all the time, by the way, it says bear false witness. If you're doing that all the time, things like that, you're just going to get into a mess of trouble. It's better to try to live a clean, pure life. And I don't mean to be perfect. Hey, I'm not sitting up here. I've not done a perfect job. Hell no. I'm not that guy, all right? But that's my desire. That's my leaning. That's what I do. And I try to be honest. You can't always just walk into the little lady's house, grandma has got 3 years left in her life, and say, oh man, grandma, what did you do to this pasta? It's just absolutely awful. You just don't want to do that. And she sits there crying. It's just being mean. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Such friendly people. I'm getting waves from everybody. I love it. I love the place I live, my country, with all its problems. I think it's got a lot ahead of it, that's for sure, but overall I think it's got less problems than most, and we still have those guaranteed constitutional freedoms, which makes it a great place. The right to speak your mind. So I don't know, I'm just having a conversation with you guys. Just being myself and dealing with the issues I went through. And wondering if just hearing some of this come across might help you a little. You gotta learn to let go, I guess. Gotta learn to let go. Oh, I gotta learn to let go. Help me with that, guys. Give me your thoughts. Prayers if you pray. Let it be what it's going to be, and just be there in the background. And that's what I have to do, and that's what I'm going to do. Just got to process things sometimes, and that's where I'm at. I'm in kind of a processing stage, processing the sadness I just witnessed, the disappointment I have in the person that this was inflicted upon, at their ease of being manipulated, and then their lack of standing up for people they care about, and then they're finally defending, even making excuses for those who caused a lot of pain. So, yeah, not to dwell on that, but my desire is to reach that person and let them see that, hey, you should not allow these people to do this anymore. You can love them, be with them, want them, all that stuff. Don't want you to end relationships, but you should draw some boundaries. Draw some boundaries. These are the people I care about. Do not attack them. Why don't you just deal with me and leave that alone? They are my friends. They are my family, extended family and such. Don't attack my mother. Do not say bad things about her. Things like that. And, we all have to grow up. And who knows? Maybe when I was a kid, I might be the same way. And I'm talking about little kids here. I'm talking about older kids. I'm talking about late teenager. But yeah, we all got this path to travel. And I'm on my path. And I'm learning a lot. I thought I knew it all. In fact, you know what? None of this is like a total surprise. It's just, hey, it just sucks. It's douchebaggery. Total douchebaggery. It sucks. It makes you a little pissed off. And the part of you that likes to manage things, out the window. So it's time to take a step back and enjoy the beautiful world. Because it is a beautiful world. And I'm trying to live life, love people, and it's, yeah, like I said, gotta let go. And if you guys are going through something like this too, you gotta do what you gotta do. I had some personal experience with this, with somebody who was very close to me that had to do something with their family. But you can let go a little bit without letting go all the way. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, so you're in an impossible situation. The person is being abused. You care about them. You see the truth. You just want them to at least know it and acknowledge it as they go forward with their relationships and try to protect themselves a little bit. Build some walls, build some limits and some barriers. But they won't do it. So when you say let go, it doesn't mean you have to be bitter and throw them away and walk away and leave them hanging, because if they're in that situation and they're like that, that means obviously they have some issues, and these issues they need to grow out of and learn or deal with. But you shouldn't just walk away. And I'm not going to walk away. I'm just going to step back, tilt my head down just a little bit, spread my arms and say, okay, I wish you the most intensely best of everything. And if you need me, just knock. That kind of step back. There's all different levels of that. I knew someone once, a good woman, and she had a child pretty young. I feel sorry for her. So much trouble she had, but she had a child pretty young. She had a very poor excuse for her mom. And people often talk about family being ultimately sacred, and they're not. I mean, they're just not. Okay? Family is not sacred. We want it to be. We try to make it sacred. And I believe in that. And I believe in family first. It's a concept that I want to instill in my kids when I have them. But at what point, when one of your children, or it turns out your parents, are a Jeffrey Dahmer, chopping people up and putting their body parts in jars, that you say, no, don't come to me. I am not your father or mother. I am not your, you know what I'm saying? What point do you say, I have to separate myself? I'm not going to be a part of this. I'm not going to condone this. I'm not going to hug and kiss you. You're chopping people up. Right? So family's not sacred in the sense that it never won't be, but it is sacred in the sense that you're chopping people up. Right? So family's not sacred in the sense that it never won't be, but it is sacred in the sense that probably, unless you're a cold-hearted person, and there are cold-hearted people, you're always going to feel bad about that thing, why maybe your family member turned out that way, be it somebody above you or a child of yours, a father, brother, anything. You're always going to be sad about that. But there are limits. There are limits. There are limits. So yeah, getting back to my story, I got a little off track there mentally. So, here's the story. So, she got pregnant. The mother had bad choices. So, she invited the boyfriend to live in with her when she's 16 years old. What? Alright, that's stupid, by the way. If you're thinking about having your 16-year-old daughter's boyfriend move in with you and live in the same room with her, don't do this. Just don't do this. This is stupidity. Well, lo and behold, guess what? She gets pregnant. Okay, so they have a wedding, a shotgun wedding, you know, but regardless of that, that's not even the good or bad of it. This person was never committed to their child, didn't want the child, didn't want the girl, and proceeded to beat her, bruise her, threaten her with guns. Just an all-around ass. Just a scumbag, okay? Just a scumbag. Well, anyways, she finally leaves him. That's good. I'm not involved in this. You know, this is an outside of me thing. I'm not involved in this at all. And she moves on with her life, tries to anyway, but she's still got to deal with her mother. Her mother's a chronic alcoholic. I mean, every day and every night. I remember visiting one time, and we opened the back door of the car, and a bunch of liquor bottles fell out of the car. I didn't even imagine this. Can you imagine doing that? Like where I come from, any open beer can or something in your car, or a liquor bottle, is $250 fine, and it would probably get you all just arrested, let alone a dozen or more in the back seat, so much so they slide out the door when you open the door. And then stuffed in the glove compartments too. So she drinks on the way to work, all this stuff. Yeah, I feel bad, you know. But this person's sort of sociopathic, and I'm not a psychologist, so maybe there's a better term for it. But the kind of person that eats people up, uses them for their own benefit, pretends to have a great emotion for them, and then really doesn't care. So this same person, not a surprise, by the way, because, you know, the other person got in that marriage, right? The daughter of this person got in a marriage. Not a surprise, this person proceeds to be abusive to the baby, to beat the daughter, to try to force her to smoke pot. The daughter wasn't into drugs, didn't want to do that kind of stuff. Whatever you think about pot or not, it doesn't even matter. But you don't get into arguments and beat your daughter because she doesn't want to smoke pot and because she dares. Please don't smoke pot while holding my baby. Oh my gosh, man. Like people, like some people hearing this are going like, you're kidding, right? Like what? You're joking. You're making this up. Well, no, I'm not. This person was abusive beyond belief. I remember I visited once, and here we have this mother with a baby bottle. No, not mother. Not the mother. The mother's a good girl that just had some growing up to do. But the mother of the new mother, the mother of the daughter, tries to give the baby a baby bottle, and I noticed she put it in the microwave. Just had to be standing there talking, having a social visit. And I'm like, and I got handed the bottle. And the outside of the bottle was kind of burning my hands. I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, I'm no expert. I'm not a baby expert. I don't really need to be a baby expert. So I squirt some on my wrist, and it scalded me. What? All right, so, you know, of course, I'm a very respectful person. I am very respectful. I treat women a certain way, and in a good way, and I'm real too at the same time. But I say to this girl, I'm like, hey, this bottle's hot. You can't give this to your daughter, because she didn't notice it was hot at that point. I'm like, here, put it on your wrist, and she jerked her wrist back. It was too hot. So we brought it out to put some milk in it to not upset the grandmother, you know, the mother of this person, but the grandmother of the baby. And she saw this, and she enraged and got furious and started banging and slamming stuff. You give her that bottle right now. She didn't want anything to do with that bottle being cooled off. She didn't want to feel it. She didn't want to know it. She didn't want to put on her own wrist. She just wanted us to jam that nipple in that kid's mouth and start feeding her that very hot formula. And even though the daughter might have been persuaded at that time because of the ugliness of her mother, as a man of decency, I don't care what happened. If I never spoke to these people again, it doesn't matter. I was like, no. This is too hot. This is getting cooled down. You're not doing this. I mean, if that's the way it's going to be, and if they did that to the baby, I probably would have had to call CPS, because that's insane. And I'm like, God, I never called CPS anyone in my life. And I don't even like CPS in a lot of cases, because I think they overreach. But nonetheless, I would never do that to somebody unless it was absolutely necessary. But that might be a necessary one. You can't abuse people like that. Drop the baby on the head when you're drunk and laugh about it. Hold this same baby, I'm talking about the grandma now. Hold this baby while they're smoking and blow fresh, big gust of cigarette smoke in the little girl's mouth, the baby, and watch her pull back in the face and think it's so cute and so funny. and 100 other things. Getting into holding the kid hostage and getting into drag out fights with her. Well, the baby's there and having to have the cops come over and over again. Well, anyway, let me make a long story short. This is an abusive grandma situation, right? And a young mother with a lot of confusion, a good heart, and good instincts. This is something I would never tell anyone to do, and I didn't, because I was asked, what should you do, what should you do, and I'm like, well, you have to do what you need to do. First and foremost, you have to protect your child. Make sure that she doesn't know when she's drunk and all that. But anyway, long story short, the decision she made after a couple of years of abuse, there was a 2-year-old involved by this time, roughly. I mean, I don't even remember. I think it might have been 3, I don't know. But the bottom line is, she made a decision to get a restraining order. So she asked for all our help. We gathered around her and we took her to the various police stations, which there were many, to get the many police reports, and she did it. And she got a restraining order against her mom. So the phone abuse, the physical abuse, the threats, the intimidation, and the threat to take grandparents' rights too, so she could have her alone. And she took control of the situation, and she basically separated herself from mom. Now, family's sacred. Is it that sacred? I mean, is it so sacred that you risk your child? How many of you out there are really going to say yes to that situation? So there's your exception to the rule of family being sacred. And I totally agree with it. And, but as a general rule, I agree family's sacred. I just want you all to know that. I'm not anti-family. I love my family. My mom passed away some years ago. I miss her very much. She was like an angel. Loved her to death. So there are some of you out there right now in a struggle, a battle between right and wrong, good and evil, better and worse. And you have this voice in your head that says, well, it's family, I can't. Well, I'll say this, if you're thinking about doing it, separating or whatever it is, think long and hard. Please don't be the punk kid or the punk 20-something-year-old that just wants to go have a negative lifestyle, and you don't want to hear any guidance from your family and just want to diss all over them. Don't be cruel unless cruelty is demanded. Some people love you so much they can be overbearing, and they can try to keep you from doing what you want to do, and it can be very too much. It can be suffocating. I get that. So try to discern that, figure out what is really going on, how much of it's you, and if you have to separate just because you have to, and they're not evil people, just go on your way, get yourself your apartment or whatever, and just kind of get out of that little area, get a job somewhere else and do that. But that group of people is not the ones I'm talking to now. If you're in an abusive relationship and you're being repetitively hit, abused, or psychologically tortured, then one, demand that the people doing it to you stop. Demand they stop. Stop, or else I'm not going to be seeing you too much, or at all. And if it can't be stopped, then by all means, for your own mental and physical health, separate. Take off. Get out of there. Close that door. And this goes doubly for friends. I've had a lot of friends over the years. Some good, some bad. When I was younger, I ran with a pretty good crowd, and I also ran with a pretty bad crowd. I was kind of in between. Some might call them the dirtbags and the jocks, or whatever the word is you want to use. The people that would sit in the corner and smoke and get in trouble all the time, versus the ones that maybe were in band. And then there's a triad there, I guess, the band / nerdy types, the athlete types, and then the troublemakers. I guess you kind of give it a trio of things, and there might be other subgroups, it doesn't really matter. And in all those groups, by the way, there are great people. Just some are just different than others. I've known a lot of jocks that were complete assholes when I was in school. A lot of jocks that were complete assholes. I've also known a lot of dirtbags that were complete assholes. I really didn't know anyone in band or anything, so I don't know. I mean, I kind of almost imagine these people that are high achievers in school probably grew up, man, better. I mean, looking back, I'm like, they probably were pretty damn good. They're probably, I don't know this, I hope they're not politicians, because then that probably explains what's going on with the world. Whoever the politicians are. And I don't know, they're probably decent people. They're probably upstanding members of society, most likely. But I don't know, that's all just theory. But your friends can dictate who you are and who you become. You can have short-term friends and barely contact friends that don't affect you a whole lot. But if you have a couple of friends that are constantly into trouble, constantly cursing, constantly, I don't know, promiscuous sex or drugs or whatever, then you're around them all the time. You might say, well, I'm the virtuous one and I'm going to change them. But there's an ancient wisdom that says, bad company corrupts good character. I've never heard any wisdom that says good company corrupts bad character or transforms bad character. Get some whips here. I'm kind of like, go. So when you hang around with these people, they rub off on you. A few years ago, I didn't curse. I'd given it up. I cursed when I was younger. I'd given it up. Wow, yeah. Got to spin the wheel a little bit. So anyway, I picked it up again. So I find myself being like foul mouth. And I'm like, and why? Because I started hanging out with people and I started mirroring some of their behavior just a little bit at a time. And so I can control that. I'm controlling it today. I'm really not saying much. It's not hard to control, it's an adult thing to do. So yeah, don't let yourself get trapped in an abusive relationship. And remember, your friends dictate who you're going to become. So you have a bunch of not such good character friends. On whatever level, if not completely, it's going to affect you, because everybody wants to please their friends on some level. They want to have fun with them, they want to laugh, and they want to connect. You want to have that bond. You want to say, hey, what's up, buddy? Yeah, oh yeah, I get it. And you want to have that bond. Try not to let it corrupt you. I love this. I love this being out here. My CRF250L was running really bad today. It was like sputtering and stuff. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I got some bad fuel. So I went to Walmart and I threw in some fuel injector cleaner. I bought the $4 version rather than the $1.88 version. It seemed thicker. I looked in the jug, it was thicker. I put half a bottle in, so it's supposed to treat 10 gallons. This is a 2-gallon tank. And I put a little dry gas in there, that little red bottle that's, heat or something? And it's supposed to get rid of the gas in here. And it looks like, I did that in pretty strong concentration. It looks like the takeoff. It seems like, I'm going to come to a stop and just go. It seems like my power loss has gone away. It seems like I cleaned the injector or took the water out of the line, whatever that was. Yeah, she's running so much better. So little treatment did it. I guess my injector had a piece of dirt in it, and or I had some gas or just whatever. But that cleaned it right up, and she's running pretty nice now. There's a little bit of hesitation in power. I went away for a week at Busco Beach in North Carolina. Nice place. Great place to swim, great place to 4x4, and a good place to ride dirt bikes. Well, everybody, thanks for listening and stopping by. I hope some of this helped you a little bit. This is just me working through some issues here. Please click the subscribe button down below and hit that notification icon for more videos. We're going to primarily be doing videos about trail riding and, finding new trails and hanging out with new friends and checking out my relatively new CRF250L and any other dual sports I can get my hands on. So we got a lot of adventures ahead of us. I have a whole bunch of footage I have not edited from Busco Beach and Carolina Adventure World and some other things we've done as well. So I look forward to having a whole bunch more fun videos. And I will see you on the other side. This is Jack Brisk signing out.
back here.